Hey, what's going on, guys? I made a channel just to talk about why Toronto is a shithole. I'm not gonna diversify. I'm not gonna make more videos about this. Apparently, not a lot of people care about the truth, to be honest. So I'm gonna only reach the very small percentage that are on YouTube looking for the truth. And I think for somebody who's been here in and out of Toronto 22 years, and I've been over to 8 different countries, I do have a very personal connection of an experience to be able to know the reality besides just living all my life in one city and just taking another word from someone else and repeating it to someone else and parodying it. I'll get into all of it in a second. I made a couple more videos, but I was thinking more people are interested. I was gonna make more and more, but I saw I wasn't doing well. So what I decided to do is make one channel and just basically cover everything. This thing might run for 20 minutes, and before you start getting all your questions that you're gonna throw at me, all the criticism that you can't handle, all this stuff that you're gonna talk about, believe me, there's no comment that you can leave on this video that I have never heard, or I have never heard for multiple billion times. I have got into argument with a million people, and I do see the repeated mentality of sheep sort of follower mentality from people who take a speech and just repeat it and just throw it out you back at you. Meanwhile, their morals are so horribly negative that is beyond acceptable. These people have no idea what being positive is about, so they have mimicked a fake reality into their own lives. I'm gonna cover everything. Like I said, I really don't give a fucking rat's ass. I'm so sick and tired of biting my tongue because people don't accept the truth and they don't like to be criticized, and they think the culture of Canada is for us to be sheeps in silence. That's not true. This is a free country. I'm allowed to express myself. I'm allowed to have my own opinion and my own thoughts because it's this crazy stupid thing I do, which is called thinking, and I know it's not acceptable from a lot of people. So you decide how to take it. If you don't like what I'm saying, simply leave. I'm not forcing you to listen to what I'm about to say. Truth is like surgery. It's painful, but it's fucking effective. So you take it however it is at this point. So let's cover all this stuff. Where do I start? There's tons of problems with this city. Not when I say Toronto, before let me get into it. Don't you people in the west and east and north and south are not exactly exempt from this. You people from Richmond Hill, Ajax, Mississauga, Brampton, Scarborough, which doesn't make any sense, is a different city or is part of Toronto. Meanwhile, it has the same municipal act and the same mayor. Anyways, I'm not even gonna get into trying to figure out the whole GTA thing. Depart from Toronto, Mississauga. So think of anything that's about Toronto and a half an hour highway driving distance around all the 4 locations, west, north, east, south. You're all affected with the same thing. So stop trying to make yourself like you're exempt from this, because you're not. There's no wall border that stops you from going to Mississauga, to Scarborough, to Toronto, to Richmond Hill, Maple, and etc. You all move around everywhere. This is why, another whole story why the traffic is so ridiculously high is, I'm going to get into that, but overall it's because the highways are small. They're not expanding based on the population, and I realistically think the highways in GTA are only made to handle 1 million population at the most, but they have to move around the 5 million GTA population. That's a whole different thing. And when Raw Ford came out, and because most of you people are sheeps, you don't ask questions. Only very little small percent people saw what actual Raw Ford was doing, which was blowing the whistle on how disgusting this city runs its systems. But you people rather listen to the media than think for yourselves. Get into the issues. It's not a secret that girls have unbelievable amount of attitude problem towards men. The amount of animosity and the distance, cold shoulders, and this attitude and poor morals and this negative, disgusted behavior towards men is not a secret, and know that we are stupid. We clearly see it. And what's sad, it takes American, a Roosh V, with balls to come here to fight for the truth. That's what's sad about this, because we've been so programmed to hush one another that it has to take an American guy to come here and say, look, this place is a shithole. And after that, I think what Roosh V did was to blew the whistle. There was a straw that broke the camel's back, and this is why a lot of girls hated the guy, is because they didn't like somebody who's coming here who's saying, look, what you guys are doing is bogus. This is what I noticed, and I've been to 40 different countries, and this is bullshit. And all of a sudden girls got defensive and everyone started attacking him. Well, look how friendly we are in this country, that we don't accept anyone else who thinks outside of our boxes. We have been so conditioned and so programmed to be one alike and one another that anybody who thinks outside the box, we don't accept it. We try to gouge his eyes out with attacking him with pitchfork. This regime style of us, it's worse than what North Korea does. North Korea does this to the government does this to their own citizens, but we citizens do this to each other. We don't accept free thinkers. Anybody who comes from anywhere else from North America knows that Toronto has a massive amount of attitude problem. It's dirty, looks like Detroit, and a couple condos that are absolutely ridiculously overpriced that runs about $500,000, about 700 square feet, does not consider of development of the city. The development city comes from the streets, from the colors of the buildings, from everything being jam packed into one another, to the dirty sidewalks and the garbage and trash and etc. And how many cities do you know that have so many strikes? Toronto has one of the most strikes from anywhere else. TTC goes on strikes, garbage goes on strike, garbage bins goes on strike, like everything goes on strike because the system is so broken here. And hospitals, don't even get me started into, right, and then etc etc etc. What the biggest city in Canada, which is Toronto, which it's supposed to be mimic of New York, has one of the worst metro system in North America. It's so behind and so delayed. The highway system is incredibly tiny, and then the money that they waste on just talking about what the Rob Ford was saying, that they just move around and they waste $300,000 on a weekend just to talk about the problem, where meanwhile there's no solution. They could have stopped doing that and put it towards building a freeway. But the problem again comes from the system, comes from the people. When you people are okay being pushed around, when you people are okay by giving people attitude, and when you people are okay of being assholes and then telling each other that you're friendly, you create a corruption of system, and this is what happens. So that nothing gets improved because the system thinks you're okay with it, right? What do you do about it? Nothing. The only thing you people have learned to say is compare yourself to one country, which is the United States, and only compare the healthcare that you probably never used to even understand what it is to begin with. How many countries are out there if you want to compare something? There are 196 countries in the world today. How many countries do you compare to when it comes to healthcare? One. How fucking idiotic is that to begin with? Right? And what is it with the nightclub and industry? The whole point of nightclub is for people to meet, right? But then when you go to a nightclub scene, the whole point is not meeting. It's more of a show off. And apparently this is why nightclubs are not doing well as they did in the 90s, where Pete and Richmond had nightclubs lined up one side across from one to another, and it was doing absolutely amazing. And I think the two best mayor that Toronto ever had was one, Rob Ford, and the earlier one in the 90s was Mel Assman, the guy from the Bad Boys. The two best mayor this city ever had. And after Mel Assman left, David Miller just ruined the city, man, and he just started adding everything. And people who were stuck here, who couldn't make enough money to leave or whatever, were the ones that were actually suffering the most, right? And everyone has made a group here, if you have noticed. People don't really mix. I went to 2 years to college. I'm not gonna name what college it was. Actually I went 4 years to two different colleges, and I didn't make one single friend, to be honest. And I'm a very social guy. And I was in the States for 6 months. I think I made over, I can't even remember, I think I made over 100 and about 200 friends I made. Out of that I made about 40 close friends from less than a year being in US, working a regular job. I went to college 4 times, which is the most social place in Toronto. I made 0 friends, and girls I couldn't even talk to, because anything I would do that would be considered like, a normal attitude, if I would have the same connection with a girl, it would be considered like, she would automatically think that I'm interested in her. It doesn't matter how she looked like, nothing. It's just automatically she would assume I like her. And then what's messed up is I would date girls outside of where was it? I was dating a girl from South America that she came here to see me, and this girl was absolutely gorgeous. Like, she was amazing. And people are so superficial and such hypocrites and so materialistic that as soon as a gorgeous girl with amazing body that would come around me and showed a lot of interest with amazing morals and amazing attitude and positive and happiness and was laid back, all of a sudden all these girls who didn't want to deal with me, all of a sudden started coming out of the woodworks. All of a sudden started showing all these crazy interests towards me. It's just absolutely insane. What's more insane about this whole corruption of broken system and people who are angry, pissed off, who put work from their own family's death. People in Toronto would rather go to work and go to someone, to their own mother or father who passed away funeral. People who rather would work and have social connection. Girls who would go to a nightclub that are glued to their cell phone but wouldn't bother to talk to someone else on their side, that are at age of 25 plus, that are supposed to be adults, that are acting worse than a 12-year-old, shows the amount of disconnect from the inabilities to be able to connect with a human social aspect. The problem is not the country, man. The problem is from people from GTA are so cancerous that anywhere they go, they plant their seeds and they destroy that city and that province, right? And then when you saw the work of Toronto drop and Alberta was climbing, Alberta used to be a place who was laid back and they didn't have the hostility towards opposite sex, but started generating the same problem over there, right? It started generating the same issue. These people are cancerous. These people are so negative, and they're so full of self-hate, and they're so full of negative morals that they can't see anybody else do better than them, right? But it should give you more reasons to be you. My whole point of this whole video is not towards disliking or being left-wing. It's about the truth. It's me going outside, noticing some guy who's depressed as shit and he has suicidal thought, which I noticed some guy, as sad as it's to say, some guy jumping out of a building downtown where the Toronto police and firefighters just stood and looked at the guy. They didn't even do fuck all to stop it. I couldn't help that guy if he was watching this video. That's what I'm doing this video for. The worst poisonous attitude that you could have is to be in denial about what you do. And I don't know what the whole system, maybe it's the whole system of Canada culture or whatnot, which is, I believe, which is the same reason why we say thanks and sorry for no reason, and we seem to replace these two words for every other English language. We seem to think that by hiding how we are positive, we are smart, we look better. But what's poison about this attitude is that some people who realize the truth and cannot handle being sheeps end up taking their own life, or else at least going towards the suicidal side, because they think something's wrong with them. And this is, if you start reading psychology and start learning the human mind pattern, you understand how poisonous this attitude is. If you really want to proof for this, what I'm saying, go around subway stations in Toronto. You'll notice there's signs everywhere saying if you think about suicide, call this number. On a lot of streets in downtown have bars where people used to jump and kill themselves, because this attitude is so fucking poisonous. It's so poisonous that it destroys those people. And if I could help one person from taking their own life, I have done my job. So what I want to tell people out there who are living in this Toronto, either with your family came through, and I know guys suffer hugely. Guys probably suffer the most, especially single guys who are living here, who are trying to make ends meet, who are trying to work a regular job. And bosses and people who with authority seem to think like by you working for them you're saving lives. You have to be pissed off all the time, and how a positive normal attitude has become poisonous to you and unacceptable. Laughing has to become cancerous, and nothing normal has been acceptable in this place. You have to be miserable 24/7 to show your positive work ethic. How mental is this? How when the fuck this normal behavior became so acceptable? And your silence is actually causing more of a hole in this cancer, and it's causing this cancer to turn into a tumor. It's all about character and attitude. And I, for one, a guy who lived here as young and got bullied and beat up and all this shit, have grew to be this lion that I am today. I am no longer that speechless, fearful guy that I used to be. And every person that, if there was a lion in this country would have been a lot better than it is. But you have to learn to be silenced. You have learned to not accept anything outside the box. But besides being a sheep, you have decided to put work in front of everything. Your highway system is shit. Your metro system, what you call TTC, is overpriced, is always late, and is way behind the modern age that we're in. We're in 21st century. The metro system runs like it's in the 1930. That's how ridiculous this is. Solutions, it doesn't take a genius. Toronto does not need more subway stations because of developments. It needs new RTs. Just like Japan, it needs high technology RTs run on between freeways. Build a new freeway If you want to charge people to make it to cover your expenses, fine. Do that. Between those two highways, put an RT system. RT system stops between whatever the station is. The stairs from the highway system is closed, so you can't go on the highway, and walks downstairs. That's your solution. Connect GTA. Right now they're doing it, but the problem with Toronto is because they waste most of the money talking about the solution instead of doing the solution, causes more delay. They're doing a new, I think, with the new metro system of GoBus, it's gonna take him a 10-year plan to connect GTA. How disastrous this 10-year delay would be, with all the problems and issues they'll probably come across. Look how long it took him to build the Donald subway station, and had unbelievable amount of problems and delays and all this nonsense. And when they finished it, they made a total fucking mess out of what they built. Moving on, talking to someone, this amount of attitude that people have, and if you're more friendly that you are, and the more nicer you are, the more they're stupid and they think you're weak, and the more they want to crush you, because they're so full of hate and bitterness and so nasty that anybody else who's not as disgusting as they are, when it comes to the attitude, they just want to destroy you. And it's so sad to say, the more hostile and angry and pissed off and the more jerk off you come across, the more respect you'll earn. And it just takes a chunk out of you that you have to work overtime to be able to stay positive and happy and relaxed. You will never be able to get a social group to go out and do something. Everyone has their own small groups, and money is your character. Your quality does not mean shit. All that matters is how much money you generate and who you hang around with. If none of this is in your list, you will not go nowhere in life, and you will always be a lone wolf. Making friends goodbye, because you will no longer be able to make friends if you're here. You'll be a self-loner, working 9 to 5, depressed as shit, and waiting till the day you die. And that's going to be pretty much your life here. And this is the attitude that we have, this poisonous attitude we have been accepting and passing as an acceptable social engineer in our society. You people need to wake up and start trying to control one another. The day that you stop being you is the day that you rip yourself away from freedom. This is a free country. I don't live in Nazi regime. No, I live in North Korea. Stop telling me how to act. Guys, girls, all of you need to stop controlling one another. When I go somewhere and I speak freely, stop trying to hush me up. You're nobody to fucking tell me how to think. I have my own goddamn fucking mind, and it makes my blood boil when I left my whole country and sacrificed, leaving my whole family to come to a place that told me that I was free, that's trying to control me. This is not a Nazi regime, so fuck off and trying to control one another. I'm a free mind and I think for myself, as I'm not a fucking sheep. Whether I support Roosh V or not, or support my grandma, or support the shoe that I left in my front yard, or support the sun, that's all up to me and who I am. You are nobody to tell me who I support or what I do. Thanks to Roosh V, proudly. Now go out there and deprogram yourself, and think freely, be your own self and stand strongly. Speak high and be your own man. Don't let no one control you, because if they control you, rip you away from your freedom, and you are nobody to take your freedom away from you, or let anyone rip it from you. Not the government, not the people, no one else. This is not North Korea. This is a goddamn free country, and since they win, when the fuck did we ever become sheeps? When the fuck do we was normal for us to be sheep? When the fuck do we became programmed to tell each other how to think? When was okay for us not to be free? When did this become effective? Because I'm not you and you're not me. This is what makes this world a great place. Not being one like another each other. Stop trying to control one another. You are, people are nobody. Makes my fucking blood boil for people to tell me how to think. I have my own goddamn mind.
Motherfucker might as well just tell me how to piss, or where to piss, or how to wear my shoes, or what kind of clothes should I wear, or how to speak, or what to speak, or what to say, or where to go, or where to piss, or where to walk, or where to work. Your boss, I'm not your slave. I work for you, and that's pretty much it. I would replace my best valuable services, which is my time, for your money. I'm replacing more of my schedule than you are. I'm putting more of my time than you are. I'm putting more of my effort than you are. I'm putting my blood and time and all these things that I was ripped away because my country went to shit and I came here because of sacrifice. We could have gone to the United States. I decided to come to Canada. Don't make our experience like a living hell. Let me be free. Let me speak up and let me make big things change. And let me create an economy. Let me create a new subway system. But for me to be able to create something, you have to let me be me. Stop trying to control one another. You're no fucking buddy to tell me what to do. Put up my goddamn hand. I am not a fucking robot. I am a fucking human being. I'm not a drone. You might want to take the drone away. You might want to be a sheep. Do it and leave us the fuck alone. Stop trying to suffocate everyone else by your own poisonous effects.
Most of you people in GTA are nothing but sheeps. I can tell you this with confidence because you all wear Canada Goose jackets, even though the cars that you use. Unfortunately, there's more animals. even though he calls him live fucking in the dogs. You people tell each other that if you're from Toronto, you have to love Drake, even though I don't give a fuck about Drake, nor Maple Leafs, but everyone that's from Toronto has to love these, has to love either Drake or Russell Peter, or telling each other that all of you have to be in love with Drake because this is kind of Toronto. These are the same reasons you all been brainwashed, because you have no ability to think for yourself, and you all been controlled by one another, because you all been by nothing but cheese. Nothing but cheese.